Alright, doing a quick audit here of speakeasyai.com. So we got up here, we got the mobile version. I would say first things first, I would make that first line of text that's red, I'd make that either one line or break it up into an even two lines where there's another couple words down there, like 3 words on top, 3 words on the bottom. Additionally, I would say make the button at the bottom a little higher up because it was not above the fold until I hit the X right up top here because I got a message from Matt. So I'd make this button down here above the fold a little higher. I'd also autoplay the video, just typical direct response marketing thing. Autoplay the video if you can. Also, I'm a fan of when I do ellipses, I usually do 3 instead of 2. There's 2 ellipses on that second subheadline, so I'd usually do 3. Use the same AI tool that reaches out to leads for you even while you sleep without having to reach out to them yourself. I'd probably make that like 1 or 2 lines shorter. Watch the video below to see how. I do 3 ellipses there. Join the early access list is cool. Eddie's success story, how Speakeasy transformed Mr. Dentless. There, I'd probably make that active copy because right now it's basically just saying it's basically there. And if you put active copy, that means like if you put a verb in there, it basically tells the reader what to do. So I would say check out Eddie's success story, see how Speakeasy transformed Mr. Dentless, or see how Speakeasy added 20K in revenue to Mr. Dentless, or I know that they're not really looking for a time or a money angle here, so maybe it's like let's say so one of the quotes that Eddie says is, "This has been one of the best investments we have made in our business." I would just make that like one of the things you could add up here to this headline right here. So you can say Eddie's success story, see how this was one of the best investments he made in his business, something like that. Additionally, this is so much copy here. I'm not reading any of that shit. I would break that up a lot more. My rule of thumb is max 3 lines of copy. And occasionally you can get away with like 4 or 5, but literally every piece of copy here is just a block, and it's all bold. I would change the weight on that. It's just so thick. It's like a big booty Latina. And big booty Latinas are dope, but not in this context. What else? You also spell Eddie incorrectly a few times. Let's see. I'm not sure which way you wanted to spell it, but you can see here in the, the 4th or 5th paragraph where it says conversion rate for Eddie's window. That is EDDIE. I would just do a Control F or Command F, whatever you're on, Mac or PC. Type in Eddie the right way and type it in the wrong way and just find the spots that's wrong. Additionally, I would do another, so for the ellipses right here, these 2 dots, I would just make them 3 dots because 2 dots don't really make sense, 2 periods. And I also would make this get less of the bad. I would make that, actually, no, it's probably fine. No more lost sales due to slow reach outs and replies. No more headache. Probably need no more headaches, plural, on that second X from juggling service. Also, the periods, make sure the periods are consistent. These are just little paper cuts, but like I said, these paper cuts will add up at scale. And this is this is like when Hormozy talks about branding. These are like the little paper cuts he's kind of referring to. And it's funny because he messes up sometimes. We all mess up, but these are like the things he's talking about. Also, so you're saying all of this in past tense as if it already happened. I would do it all present tense. Actually, some of it's past, some of it's present tense, like increased focus. Why don't you just say increased focus? Or leads turned into bookings. Why don't you just say turn leads into bookings? Additionally, and this is like a little paper cut here, but after eat, if you have eat, where is it? Let's see if it'll focus. After you say eat on that first check mark, you probably want to put a comma there. That's like a brand thing where it's called the Oxford comma. If you have a list of 3 things or more and they're in series, you usually put a comma before the and. 5-star reviews should be hyphenated on the last bullet point here. Like I said, I'm just going through this kind of high level here. Here what other detailers and TID shops have said about our AI sales agents. I would change, so that's good active copy. I would change the here to C, just because, or read, because they're not listening. They're not listening. You can't, unless they have the page talking to them, they're not listening to the page. Additionally, let's see. This is cool right here. I guess you can keep the here. I don't know. That's kind of up to you. This is cool right here, except I should be able to pause this video. I hate when you can't pause videos. So I should be able to pause that. Additionally, so game changing, you have again right here, this word game changing. Occasionally you hyphenate it and occasionally you don't. It should be hyphenated every time. Also, you want to make sure you're consistent with the quotation marks. So here you don't have any quotes, but here you do. Sorry, my fingers are getting all in the way. You want to make sure that's consistent. Also, this is way too much copy. Too much copy. I would just say take the highlights, or it's just too much of a brick. So separate this or make it smaller. And then you're going to want to put that privacy policy and terms and conditions at the bottom if you're running ads to this on Facebook. Let me see what else. You're also going to want to put that, that thing I sent you yesterday, that like thing from Dan Henry's website, you're going to want to put that at the bottom saying that we don't guarantee any results, blah, blah, yada, yada, yada. And that's for legal reasons when you're running ads on Facebook. Let's see what else we got here. Join the early access list. Instead of taking to a type form, I would just do the form on high level. Also, curious why you did the form on type form. The reason I say that is because anytime you go to a separate page, there's always a loss of, anytime you take someone to a different domain name, they are entering a new doorway. So think of it like this, right? There's a door right there. If I go through this doorway, I'm in a different room and my psychology resets. My entire psychology resets. So that's a micro commitment, or that's not a micro commitment, but that's a micro, what's it called? A micro change in your brain. So if you go to a new domain, like I said, these are all paper cuts. So instead of doing a domain or a new domain on Typeform, I would either embed the Typeform on a high level form or just do the form in high level and I wouldn't even go to another page. I would just do a pop-up. So I would make this button right here a pop-up. I wouldn't make it link out to another page. Pop-ups, in my opinion, are better because they do the same thing as clicking a button. Like they commit a micro commitment for the end user, but they don't get taken to a new domain, which means their psychology doesn't reset or their brain doesn't reset. It doesn't feel like a new environment, if that makes sense. Additionally, all of the copy is bold, so I would probably change that. I'd also do some more styling, like you have a ton of copy that's very stagnant as far as the styling. Like there's no underlining or bolding, or I mean, it's all bolding, but there's no underlining or strike through or anything like that. So I would say maybe consider doing some of that. Let me check out this video here.
They literally were contacted.
I would autoplay this video.
In 2 minutes.
You don't have to, but I probably would. Another thing you could try here is throwing a form in the middle of the video. You can do this on high level. So you can literally do it at the end of the video. Just put a form there. As soon as they're done watching, they're literally given the form to fill out. You can do that on high level. Just set the time and duration that you want the form to show up. I didn't watch this video completely. But I am curious as to why you didn't just do like a slideshow.
Submit their information to be contacted.
Because this is a lot of stuff for someone to look at. So let's say I'm watching this video. I have a ton of stuff to look at. I have your face. I have the domain you're on, which is gamma.app. I have the name of the page you're on, and I have all of the tools that you're that are right under your face, like that sidebar. I have all of that in front of me. That's a lot of distractions. I would just say make this as focused as possible. And I'm not saying you need to redo this whole video or anything, but I'm saying when you start running ads, that's going to be the first thing I'd probably change is just making this video really focused when you get to scale. What else? Yeah, I guess that's kind of it for now. Big takeaway here though is I would always ask yourself this question: does this look like a page I would personally buy from? Me personally, the answer is no, but I'm also not your target demographic. But let's say this says, for me, right? Like let's say this says, I don't know, what's the problem I'm having right now? I don't know, let's say this had a problem that I was having right now. This doesn't look like a page I would personally buy from. It's just a lot of copy. It's a lot of the direct response stuff, and I think you should incorporate some of the brand stuff in this. But like I said, I'm not the target market here, so I'm kind of not the person you want to get that feedback from. Also, just really quick thing that I just noticed. Hierarchy, so this is called brand hierarchy. If your subheadline here is bigger than your main headline here, it doesn't really make sense in the mind of the reader, and I have no data to actually back this, so I'm just talking out of my ass here. But in my opinion, your headline should be the biggest thing on the page, not this like subheadline here. I would also say add a little picture of Eddie right here or yourself. This first line of copy here also doesn't make sense. So you say, hey there, this is Will, but you're talking about Eddie's success story on top. I would just start in the frame of Eddie down here, or make it clear that it's Will talking, because you say, hey there, this is Will. Let me tell you about my buddy Eddie. That just seems like it's copy that doesn't need to be there. Why don't you just say, Eddie from Mr. Dentless used this AI sales agent that changed his business forever. Like, why don't you just start with that? I am going to go eat dinner because I still haven't eaten dinner, but we can finish this conversation on Discord later tonight. Peace.
DMO.